You ever notice how a trader never plans to blow an account, yet somehow the journey always leads back to the familiar graveyard, the place where the balance no longer resembles the hopeful number it began with? The trader sits there, staring at the screen, trying to understand how they arrived at the same destination again. But the question that haunts them is far deeper than it appears. Why do I blow accounts chasing fast profits? Let that question sit in your mind for a moment, not casually, not politely. Let it disturb you just enough to sharpen your awareness, because the answer is not on the chart, it's inside you. Welcome back to Intentional Trading, the space where trading stops being chaos and becomes a discipline grounded in identity, structure, and deliberate design. If this is your first time stepping into this world, understand something. You're not watching a video, you're entering a system. This is the fourth installment of our Mentorship Mastery program, and everything here builds sequentially like a staircase. Each episode prepares you for the height of the next. Without the earlier steps, you may hear what I'm saying, but miss what I'm teaching. If you're serious about trading without fear, without randomness, without internal sabotage, go back, absorb the previous installments, then come back here. We build traders, not followers. If you're ready to remove the psychological volatility that destroys most traders long before the chart ever does, then subscribe and stay anchored. What you are about to confront is not another trading lesson. It is an internal confrontation with the most seductive and destructive force in retail trading, the psychology of quick riches. And until a trader understands this force, they remain a prisoner of patterns they cannot see. Now return to the question. Seriously, not theoretically. Why do I blow accounts chasing fast profits? Most people believe the answer is greed. But to blame greed is to reduce a complex internal architecture to a shallow excuse. Greed is not the cause, it is the permission slip. The real collapse happens deeper in the structure that allows greed to survive. There is a profound difference between desire and compulsion, between ambition and addiction, between wanting to grow your capital and being structurally wired to sabotage it. What destroys the trader is not the chart. It is the invisible architecture that governs them before they even take a position. Every trader carries two identities: the identity they assume they possess and the identity that emerges under market pressure. You can fake confidence when the chart is slow. You can pretend to be disciplined when nothing is moving. But the moment a fast move appears, the real identity steps forward, the impatient identity, the compulsive identity, the identity that doesn't trust structure because structure feels too slow. You've been there. You've felt that internal pull. That moment when the setup isn't mature yet, but the candle moves quickly and you feel like you're missing out. That moment when your rules tell you to wait, but your emotions whisper that waiting is for the weak. That moment when you tighten your stop loss because the correct stop feels too wide, or increase your lot size because the initial size feels too small to matter. That moment when you look at the chart and tell yourself this time will be different, yet moments later you find yourself repeating the same destructive sequence. These are not isolated mistakes. These are structural revelations. Humans repeat the structure built inside them, and when the internal structure is built around illusions of speed and shortcuts, the external outcome will always be account destruction. No trader wakes up saying, "Today I want to ruin my account." But every trader wakes up with subtle emotional desires wrapped in urgency. I need to recover yesterday's loss. I need to hit my weekly target. I need to catch up. I need to make something happen today. These desires create an internal liquidity pool that the market doesn't need to manipulate because your own structure is already doing that work for it. The market simply exposes what is already alive inside you. This is why you over-leverage even after swearing you wouldn't. This is why you enter impulsively even when you know the setup is weak. This is why you revenge trade despite recognizing how irrational it is. This is why your confidence evaporates at the first sign of drawdown. And this is why one win can inflate your ego, while one loss can dismantle your entire mental stability. The problem is not the market. The problem is the absence of internal structure. The psychology of quick riches builds the most dangerous illusion in trading, the illusion of progress. You feel close to a breakthrough. You feel like one big win will fix everything. You feel like being aggressive will shorten the journey. But none of these feelings are real. They are financial hallucinations. The most dangerous experience a trader can have is not losing, it's winning incorrectly. A wrong win gives the nervous system a reward for destructive behavior, and from that moment, the collapse becomes inevitable. The trader chasing fast profits lives in a predictable psychological loop. You enter too early. You catch a small win. Your brain rewards the wrong behavior. You increase lot size. An unexpected loss comes. You try to recover it. You increase leverage again. A second loss hits. Your clarity dissolves. Identity breaks. Emotion replaces structure. Revenge replaces logic. And in minutes, sometimes seconds, the account evaporates. This loop is not emotional chaos. It is structural automation. You think you blew the account because of a bad trade or a tight stop loss or unexpected volatility. But the account was already destroyed long before the entry. It died at the level of desire, at the level of identity, at the level of structure. The trade was only the execution point of an internal collapse that had already taken place. What you call chasing profits is actually chasing validation, certainty, the dopamine spike of being right, the emotional high of speed, the illusion of control. But the market responds to none of these. The market responds only to structure. The desire for fast profits is not financial, it is neurological. The brain craves stimulation. Impulsive entries, oversized lots, gambling behavior, these are neurochemical cravings masquerading as trading decisions. You are not trading the market, you are trading your nervous system. And the nervous system, if untrained, will trade you long before you trade the chart. That is why you can follow rules when the market is slow, but break them instantly when volatility rises. Your problem is not knowledge, it is regulation, not strategy, structure, not the chart, you. Every blown account begins as a belief long before it becomes a loss. First comes the belief that you can accelerate the process, that you can bypass the slow architecture of mastery. That belief becomes impulse, and the impulse becomes the action you take on the chart. The action becomes loss. The loss triggers a collapse in composure. The collapse becomes self-betrayal, and the self-betrayal awakens the beast of revenge trading. That revenge pushes you into a spiral where identity dissolves and emotion takes full command. The account doesn't die at the stop loss. It dies at the moment you abandon structure. This is the cycle you've been trapped in. Not because you are unskilled, but because you are unstructured. Not because you lack intelligence, but because your internal architecture has not been rewritten for sustainability. Fast profits seem attractive because you believe progress must feel dramatic. You believe growth must look like acceleration. You believe success must match your desire quickly. You believe the market owes you movement at the speed of your emotion. You believe mastery can be forced. None of that is true. You're not chasing fast profits. You are resisting the discomfort of slow mastery. Slow, consistent growth feels boring. It feels too quiet. It feels like nothing is happening. It feels like the journey is stagnant. It feels like the market is ignoring you. It feels as though patience is wasted time. All of this is an illusion produced by a nervous system conditioned to equate intensity with progress. The market punishes this belief system ruthlessly. Slow results build internal structure. Fast results build internal chaos. Slow growth creates composure. Fast growth creates arrogance. Slow progress builds discipline. Fast progress builds delusion. Slow mastery produces independence, while fast mastery produces dependency on luck. The trader chasing speed has never experienced the quiet power that comes from sustainable growth. They don't know the stability of structural confidence. They don't know the peace that comes from being able to say, my model governs me, my rules protect me, my structure directs me, my execution expresses me. The only way out of the cycle is structural reconstruction. The desire for fast profits cannot be removed by motivation or by promising yourself to do better next time. It must be eliminated at the architectural level. You begin by removing the emotional reward system. Stop celebrating big wins. Stop assigning meaning to randomness. Stop giving your nervous system a reason to crave stimulation. Then redefine what progress means. Progress is not measured by the size of a win. Progress is the repetition of correct behavior, the consistency of execution, the adherence to model alignment, the control of your nervous system under pressure. That is real advancement. Next comes identity redesign. You shift from trading like a gambler to trading like an architect. You stop seeking events and start seeking structure. You stop reacting and start observing. You stop chasing momentum and start understanding context. Then you train the nervous system. You practice waiting. You practice discipline. You practice reducing leverage. You practice sitting out when the structure is not aligned. You practice lowering intensity. You practice neutrality. This training is not punishment, it is refinement. Finally, you commit to slow, intentional growth. Because slow is not weak. Slow is insulating. Slow is stabilizing. Slow is what prevents emotional collapse. Consistency is not built by force, it is built by design. You do not become a consistent trader by trading more aggressively. You become consistent by becoming structurally aligned internally. You don't blow accounts because you lack strategy. You blow accounts because the internal structure relied on by your strategy is fragile. You don't chase fast profits because you are greedy. You chase fast profits because you are unregulated. You don't fail because you're unlucky. You fail because you haven't understood that trading is a structural profession before it is a financial one. Speed is the enemy of sustainability. Impulse is the enemy of probability. Emotion is the enemy of intentional design. Chasing fast profits is not a trading problem, it is an identity problem. But identity can be rebuilt. Structure can be rewritten. Behavior can be redesigned. The model can retrain the mind, and the mind can retrain the nervous system until the nervous system becomes obedient to structure instead of emotion. This is what we do here. This is what intentional trading stands for, not chaos, not impulse, not speed, structural dominance. If something awakened in you today, an understanding, a shift, a recognition, then stay with this journey. This series is not content, it is metamorphosis. Subscribe. Share this with a trader who needs clarity, and prepare yourself for the next episode. We are only at the beginning.